What's up? What's
Coming
up?
from Mexico. Buenos dias, man.
Buenos dias, man. Excited to catch up with you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, we caught up last week, and then now we're catching up live, recording it. We talked about a lot. We dove deep a lot, and then we were like, man, we just got to do that again and just record it because there's so many tips and tricks. So in this video, bros, we're going to talk about how to crush your remote closer interview, some strategies on how to find your first offer, and then also the perspective of a business owner, what's going through their mind when they're hiring closers. I've had to do it. Marcus has had to do it. So this is his
Yeah.
idea, is talking about that. So where are you at in Mexico for people that don't know?
Just outside of Mexico City, a couple of hours outside of Mexico City. Um, yeah, I prefer to stay out of the big cities always. Usually.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good. It's like a
Yeah.
nice sunny day, nice little view behind you, some
Yeah.
montañas.
Montañas. Yeah, your Spanish is
La-
getting good,
Las
man.
montañas. I like
Uh,
montañas.
yeah. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be good today. Like if we cover, okay, how do you find, like, this specifically for people who are already in the game, right? The remote closing, high ticket sales, and or who might be looking to get on a first offer, a better offer. So that's gonna be specifically valuable for you, I guess. So
Okay.
so yeah, super
So
excited about that. There's a lot to unpack. How to find the right offers, but then also how to actually land these offers, and then yeah, like you said, if we shine some light on people who just getting into the industry, on, okay, how does a business owner think when they're looking for a closer? What is their pain when they're looking for a
mm,
closer? I think that will be very, 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 very helpful, at least for a lot of people that are currently looking to get on an offer, or getting on a better offer.
yeah,
So
let's
yeah,
start with
man,
that. So
excited.
as a business owner, you've hired multiple closers. Let the bros know what's the perspective of a business owner so they can know.
Yeah. And it's actually also a great timing for us now to have this conversation. I had a call yesterday with a couple of students, a couple of people that I'm also working with, and what I noticed that some really don't understand how to think like a business owner, right? And that's not really. I mean, it's normal, of course, because how can you know? So the first thing that I that I believe is important to understand as a business owner, most of the time, they do have money, they do not have a lot of time,
Mm,
right? So, and also as well, like there's no difference between you having a conversation. Let's say you get the opportunity to connect with a business owner, someone like Riley, for example, myself, or friends of us. Understand that their time is very limited. Like, they don't necessarily want to be on a super long call with you, right? And that there's always
mm,
a pain. There's always some type of pain. Okay. For example, if
mm.
if I think back, or I'm also curious to hear how it was for you, Riley, when you were hiring, whether it's a closer or an appointment setter or someone remotely in your team, there's always a pain, right? There's always a pain, because when does a business owner usually need to hire a closer?
Yeah, when there's a need for one.
Yeah, when you're
When they
like,
don't
oh my
have one.
God, I'm getting
When there's
so
a
many
lot of
calls.
leads coming in, yeah.
Yeah, my calendar is exploding. I have no time anymore to work on the business. I'm in the business, like, just taking calls, 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 right? So there's a need for that. And then on the other side, where's all that demand coming from? From you creating that demand, right? You doing marketing. So the business owner is paying for that, either with the time, you putting in the content, and you creating that copywriting and the demand and making a post together, right? Or you creating a YouTube video, or whatever, right? You're putting time and energy into that, and then it takes time to also to accumulate the audience and accumulate the demand, right? Or for example, you, Riley, you build a pretty big audience, right? So it takes time. It takes time for that. So so keep that always in mind. Like it's a lot of work to create that demand. Yeah, time or money. If you do paid ads, which is also good, if the business owner is doing paid ads, you're paying money to get, for every call that you book into the closest calendar or into your calendar, you might pay $50 if you're good, $100, right? 200, 300. It depends. It really depends. So I think that's really what you as a closer, whether you're new or a little bit in the industry, what you want to have in mind from my point of view, right? I don't know how, what do you think about it, right?
So basically you're saying they're very busy. They don't have time. They don't always necessarily want to have a long talk with you. And so what would be the tips? What would be the tips around that? All right, there's this busy business owner. Are there certain questions that um, that you that a job seeker should ask? For example, um, uh, like just asking some discovery questions. I mean, that's something that I obviously teach upfront, is ask some discovery / qualifying
Yeah,
questions to figure out, instead of just like, hey, let's hop on a call. I always say, don't don't like try to just jump right into a call with everyone that you see.
yeah,
Ask some probing discovery questions. What are their pain points? How are you trying? What's your ideal situation in terms of this hiring process? Like, how are you looking to go about this? Usually it's back and forth in a message.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if you reach out to someone and you say, hey, I want to jump on a call with you, understand that this is a very big ask with what we talked about before,
Yeah,
right? Business owner is busy, not a lot of time. I mean, you know how it is.
yeah,
Like sometimes you might not even get a message back until you do a couple of follow-ups, right? Don't be afraid of doing the follow-ups. Like I never get annoyed as a business owner if someone is following up. I'm more like, okay, that person is persistent, right? Even if I'm busy and I'm not replying, like I see that you're following up. And I had situations where, someone on my team was just like, Markus, this person, like for 2 weeks now, is always following up. And like, uh, I think it might be worth talking to that person. Right. So literally, um, like, or if you get a no as a business owner, sorry, if you get a no as a closer, so you wanted to work with someone and then they reply, no, not interested. Biggest mistake is people just move on to the next one and they say just no. Okay, no, like there's no interest. Okay, I just move on to the next one. But just because there's a no now, yeah, is not a no in a week, in 2 weeks, right? It's not a no forever. So build out you could do that with a simple Excel spreadsheet. Okay, name of the business owner. Okay, this is what I was talking with him about. This is when I was the last time in touch with him. And
yeah,
then you could do once every 2 weeks, once a month, you could work that list, or you could just have touch points. And I'm not saying you want to like follow up and say, hey, I just want to check in with you. It's probably the worst thing you can ever write, because who are the people that get checked in with? I mean, if you're in jail, right, or something like that, someone comes checking in with you, right? That's not what we want. Yeah, just react to their stories, comment in their Facebook group if they have one, or if they have a community, be active there, be top of mind. Now that's definitely also something to keep in mind. But what to ask on a call? So let's say if you have the chance to now have a 10, 15, 20 conversation with someone, I think it's a lot more important. I'm curious what you think, but I think it's a lot more important what not to say and what not to ask.
yeah,
Because if I have information on my website about my offer or about my company, and you ask me the stuff that is already on the website, I'm already like, you know,
yeah. Come on, bro.
you should
That's
do
just
that
another. That's
already.
just another. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
Why are you
exactly. It's
asking me
like,
that
come
shit?
on, bro. Yeah. So it could be small things, literally like that, or you getting the list together there.
Yeah, man.
That's good. That's good.
Rabbit. I'm teaching on the virtual whiteboard as you're going. I'm a student in class listening to Professor Marcus here.
Ah, no. That's a collaboration here. We unpacking this
Yeah, no,
together,
we're,
man.
we're we're collaborating. So what to ask on a call? This is could be a whole podcast episode in terms of high level. What do you say? High level. What should be a closer's mindset going into the quote unquote interview, and
Yeah,
what's a business owner's mindset going into the quote unquote interview?
yeah. Mm, for the student, again, for me, I always like to talk about what not to do,
Mhm.
because if you manage to avoid, stay away from making or saying stupid things or making costly mistakes, I believe that brings you very, very far, or at least it should get you through the first filter, so to say. Now, but again,
Mhm.
for a closer who's looking to get on a first position, I always say, okay, don't think about it as an interview.
Yeah.
You're not in a 9 to 5 job, right? We might say here now interview and all of that, but as a closer or as an aspiring closer, don't see it as an interview. Literally, it's you want to have a conversation, and the mindset to go into that conversation. What I recommend is just be curious about how the business works, where the lead's coming from, why a closer is getting hired right now. And then also, if you ask, for example, okay, so what does the perfect candidate look like for you? They will
Mhm.
tell you what they're looking for before you get to say
Yeah.
maybe things that you don't really want to say, and then it doesn't match up. No. Or for example, well, I mean, let's think for the student for now, before we go into the business owner. Discovery questions, of course. There's always a pain
Yeah.
that the business owner has. If there wouldn't be no pain, he wouldn't be on a call with you, right? So, what is the pain? Are they drowning in leads right now, or is it just that he doesn't want to take these calls anymore, to focus more working on the business or a different area of the business? Maybe he wants to dive more into delivery. Maybe he wants to dive more into marketing, right? So that's something you want to find out. Now, find out where's the traffic coming from. Is it just
Yeah.
organic or is it paid? If it's both, great. That's very, very good. Yeah, if they do both, that's usually, if they only do paid, yeah, it's a little bit more challenging. Now, I was in an offer that was mostly paid, and the people that you talk to, they're not as familiar with the brand, right? It's they're just colder. Literally, you might have to do more than one or two calls. So figure that out for you for that offer. Figure it out for you, and understand that the most difficult thing, if you're new to this, is getting on your first offer. Getting on your first offer, and your first offer might not be the one that you stay with for a long time, but it gets
Yeah.
the foot in the door. Make your first dollar. That should be the goal. Your goal shouldn't be to
Yeah.
make 10K a month or anything like that. Make your first dollar, uh,
Yep.
um,
Yeah. Get on your
because it
first sales
changes something.
conversation.
Yeah. Just get out there. No,
Hmm.
don't approach the call with the business owner like, okay, cool. How much money can I make? Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't be your focus. Your focus should be getting in the game and delivering results. And once you deliver results, okay, we can have a conversation about compensation, right?
Hmm.
On in more depth. That's how I look at it.
Mm.
I want
Okay,
someone
that's
who's
good.
there who doesn't ask me for a bigger commission or anything right off the bat. That for me, that's a red flag. I want to have someone coming in and just say, "Hey, I'm here to give you results." Right? I don't care. Like, of course, I'm curious to know what I like. Do you have a commission structure or something like that? How much are closers earning right now for you? But I also want to let you know that you know right now I'm not here to ask for anything. I want to give you results right first.
Mm.
So that will let you stand out for sure. You know.
Have a mindset of curiosity and um, value, how you can add value. Just have a conversation, as we mentioned last week. Me and Marcus both hate the word interview. This is not an interview, bro. This is a conversation So wait, when I'm hiring on Upwork, and you can even see like my other window right now, I'm hiring people like for my agency right now on Upwork. I don't say interview. It's just the connotation to that word. I say, hey, um, do you have 15 minutes for a meet and greet? I say meet and greet. Um,
Yeah.
it's just for a quick meet and greet. Hello, because that's what it
Yeah.
is. Like so going into my mindset in terms of hiring for closer specifically, um, but in general hiring overall. Um, Especially if it's a freelancer type situation, like high churn type stuff. You're not looking
Yeah.
for your next VP of marketing. Okay, that's a whole other thing. This is not
Right.
like, employee. We're talking freelancer hiring, which I've done. I've hired hundreds of freelancers, hundreds. Um, yeah, the first uh, thing in terms of a call, it's vibe check. So here's even a question you could ask, like when interacting via text or whatever it may be. Um, you're talking about scheduling a call. You could even say like, um, anything you want me to prepare for this call, or is it just a vibe check? And they'll say, oh yeah, just a 5 minute vibe check, bro. That's all I'm doing it right now. Okay, cool. Another question you can ask is, well, obviously if you're doing like an Upwork campaign like I teach, they're obviously going to be in hiring mode. But if you're doing direct outreach, you can ask them, um, by the way, what is your hiring situation like? Are you actively hiring? And they might even say like, yeah, no man, like we're not even hiring right now, but like you've reached out 5 times now. I'm open to talk. Like a little bit of just context of their situation. Um,
Yeah.
but everything I'm just saying right now, this is actually just communication skill, which is the same thing as closing skill. It's just asking questions. So that's the whole other thing we haven't even mentioned yet is this question based mindset, value based mindset, curiosity to get best based mindset. Guess what? That is also, it's also teaching the how to do closing calls. It's the same thing. But so it's a double whammy. By coming on the interview with this type of mindset, it's demonstrating your sales skill, but you don't even know it. They don't even know it. So that's the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's you literally, even if you or the business owner is not aware of it, some are not. If you hire a salesperson or a closer, remote closer, this call, even if it's just a vibe check, this call is an example of your work.
Yeah.
How do you communicate? Right? Business owner business owners, they usually don't want someone who is, who is difficult or something like that. Or if I get someone on a call and they're just stuttering, difficulties defining their words, they're just not smooth. And that doesn't mean if you're nervous, for example, and you're on a call with me, I don't mind. Like, I appreciate that, because it tells me that it's very important for you. So it's not like I don't mind if you're nervous. Okay. What it just tells me is, okay, if you're super nervous, you're new, right? Most likely. So you haven't had a lot of conversations yet. But yeah, business owners don't really look for anyone who's going to be difficult or who has problems already communicating on a call, because that's your example of your work. How do you communicate with their community, with their clients, with their prospects, right? So yeah, without the skill, without you practicing that and learning about communication, it will just be more difficult. It will be more
Mm-hmm.
difficult. I think there are like three main pillars to this. So one is definitely your closing skill, right? And then you have your positioning, so to say, as a closer. So for example, your Instagram, I always say your Instagram is your digital business card. Nowadays you don't need a business card.
Mm-hmm.
Or Instagram, even Instagram could be a replacement for your website if you're just getting started. You don't need
Yeah.
a website. Just get a neat Instagram that will do all the heavy lifting for you in terms of someone just checking you out, a business owner checking you out, right? And also don't get it wrong with, okay, now Marks and Riley telling me I have to do my Instagram and I have to do content. No, just get a basic setup and forget it. You set it up and then you use it as a virtual business card. Have like 9 pictures there, and you don't need to post every day. You don't need to do stories, anything like that. That's wasted energy, wasted focus for now.
Yeah.
Money first and then brand. So make your money first and then you can build your brand. Yeah, and if you have that set up, so you have the skill and then you have your positioning, your Instagram up, your Facebook, right? You have a professional profile picture, all of that stuff, and that helps you to generate inbound requests. People will notice that you update your profile picture. People will notice that you update your banner, your bio, and all of that. And then you might already get requests from people. Oh, I saw you now into sales. I actually know someone, or people just starting to reach out to you. So you're generating inbound, and then outbound is, of course, you proactively building your list of potential candidates who have an offer that they doing over the phone or over Zoom, or offering one-on-ones with an influencer. They're usually also high ticket. So yeah, and then again, just contacting them, or what we talked about as well. I remember right now is, let's say you have someone, you did your research, you find an influencer you would like to work with, and let's assume for a second he has a big YouTube channel, and it's very difficult to get in touch with him there, right? And then also he has a big Instagram following. It's difficult to get in touch with him there. So what I would do, if I would be you, if I would be looking for like my first offer or for an offer, I would check out which social media is the least engaged and the smallest one from him. So it could be that his X account is only 1,000 followers. So your chances of sliding into his DMs is a lot higher doing that on X maybe than it is on IG, or it could be TikTok, right? It could be also email. Don't underestimate email.
Yeah.
Email. Right? Go on their website, do some research, find out what's the name of the business owner or the CEO that you want to reach out to, or the hiring person, or the sales manager, or whoever is that person that you need to get in touch with. And usually it's then just their first name at, and then the URL, usually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just send them an email as well to get in touch, right?
Yeah,
So, but I
first
think it's
name.
these 3, right? So you need to know the skill, you need to know how to communicate. Then you have your inbound game, just setting up your online presence, as good as you can. And then you have the outbound game. And I think if they all come together, it's very, very easy to get on offers nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult if you're lacking the skill, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like because the skill of getting the job is a sale in itself. So it's like you gotta,
Yes.
yeah, and so you gotta kind of start somewhere. And a tip to go along when we were talking about kind of like the vibe check call is use video messages and voice messages. So it's an instant vibe check, right? We're talking about you're a freelancer for speaking, for talking. So obviously use voice messages
Yeah.
and video messages because they can instantly see if it's the type of vibe that would be a fit for the company or not. Either way is fine. So it just saves time.
Riley, before you jump on a call with someone that you thinking about, checking out if that might be a good fit, do you usually have them send you a video first? Or do you go directly into the call? Like to vibe check call, like the call?
Do you mean like
From a business owner perspective, right? From a business owner perspective.
are you talking like for interviewing a freelancer?
Yeah. So let's say you're looking to hire a closer or an appointment setter, and then how do you usually go about that?
I normally look on Upwork. I've been checking that for using it for 10 years and 5-6 years as a service provider.
Yeah.
I always check to see if they have a profile video, And
Mm,
if they do, um, that's great because I can instantly see, their level of English, because it's
yes.
mostly Philippines people I'm hiring. Um, but also even if it's a Western person and I'm hiring like a senior account manager, and a profile video would be great. 90% of people do not. And I've made some great hires through LinkedIn. Actually,
Mhm.
my last three Amazon account managers, American guys, I found through LinkedIn jobs. I posted it. I boosted it for $55 a day for 3 days. Like that was LinkedIn's recommendation, and I got like 200 applicants. And I just went through
Okay.
there. It's a pretty good system. It's a pretty good system. You can just go through and like approve, not approve, approve, not approve, and then I have to go into everyone's profile,
Mhm.
scan it, get the profile vibe check, and then it's either not a fit, maybe, or good fit, and that kind of shortlists it or eliminates it from the list. And I'm going through doing that 200 times. On
Yeah.
LinkedIn, nobody has profile video, almost nobody. I actually did a video, guys, on my YouTube channel about how to add a profile video to your LinkedIn profile. It's actually it's a method that I invented because you actually attach it to one of your experience section
Mhm.
and you attach it as a Loom video, and the GIF for the Loom video will actually be looping, playing, so it looks like, oh, here you have a clickable video right there, and you can, hey, here's my introductory video. Something that I like invented. But me as a business owner's perspective, if they have a profile video, it's a huge plus slash time saver. Um,
Do you even
it's
consider, like, do you even jump on a call with someone where you have not seen a profile video or they haven't sent you a video
But
previously?
nobody has profile videos. No one has them, and so
No
it
one does
it,
it.
it 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 wouldn't work if it was like a requirement on my end. No one does it.
Gotcha.
That's why it's one of the huge things that I talk about. No one
Okay.
does it, but if I'm saying if you do, you're in the top 1% of freelancers. 99% of freelancers service providers do not have a video of them speaking. Um, Even sales freelancers
That's
don't.
like, this is like gold nuggets. So if you're watching this right now and you don't have a profile video,
Yeah,
like, get a profile video, put it on LinkedIn, right? And
yeah,
Riley, of course, you're very, very good with like Upwork and all of that. Mm, but for
yeah,
example, I don't even jump. Like, the reason why I was asking is I don't even jump on a call with someone that I have not seen like a quick, a couple of seconds or minute video of them
mm,
just speaking either to me
yeah,
or presenting themselves. I just want to, like, the vibe check that you were talking about. I do that like on the video, and then on the video I'm usually already to tell like yes or no. How? Okay, how are you speaking? Do you speak with confidence? Are you, and again, I'm not saying you need to be super energetic in a video or anything like that. Like, that's, like, it's not, it's just like, okay, do I connect with that person somehow? Do I want to give them a chance? Do I want to invest time into having a call with them and ask them a couple of
yeah,
questions? Yeah. So for example, for me, it's a requirement. Like, if I don't hop on a call with anyone if I, like, with a closer or other applicants, if I have not seen them on video presenting themselves to me, because it
yeah,
tells you a lot. How is that person dressed? What impression are they making? What's their background like, wherever they're recording, what environment are they recording in? Are they looking tired? Are they looking fresh? Right. So it tells you already a lot. And then
yeah,
what you said just
absolutely.
before with LinkedIn, I think that's super, super valuable for everyone here. LinkedIn, I think, is also very underestimated. Yeah. I think even there, if you look for remote sales job, remote closing, high ticket sales, like any of these keywords, and then for job description, you can even, a lot of you don't know that, but you could even set an alert. So
Yeah,
whenever a new opening comes up, you get an email and you can, apply there right away. Um, yeah,
yeah,
LinkedIn.
absolutely. Yeah, it was that's how 200 people applied right away, to my in 2 days, I think, because of the alerts. Um, so
Hmm.
yeah, there's definitely some alert stuff going on. But yeah, regarding asking them for an introductory video, if I'm hiring closers, then, and I have done this actually um, for my senior PPC managers, senior Philippines PPC managers. I would say to my short list, please send
Mhm.
me, because my short list at this time is going to be like 10 people. As a business owner, my mindset is I am not about to hop on 10 calls, even if it's
Right.
5 minutes. No, we do
Yep.
not want to do that. And so what do we do? And so I say, please send a short introductory Loom video, just going over a quick introduction of yourself and your experience, and anything else you want to share and any questions you have with me. Cheers. Boom. And then out of the 10, then maybe 3 we'll get back to that. Okay, boom.
Mhm.
I've narrowed it down to the 3. And guess what? I can already see if it's a good fit by what they say and the vibe and everything. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. Yeah, that's actually good that you bring this up. Like, if you're willing to jump through the loops or hoops, however you say that in English, right? If you're willing to jump over those all the time or through them, when you're really going the extra mile, like, let's be real. If you take this really really serious and you're really committed to get on your first offer, no excuses, and you just really, yeah, go all in. Make this a priority for you right now. If you're still in the 9 to 5 job, okay, mentally, that's something that I always teach as well. Is like, mentally make your full-time job your side hustle, and make closing your main hustle, right? So so make this a priority. Now, for example, if right now something that I like to talk about is, okay, sit down and think about, all right, this remote closing, me working online, me becoming a digital nomad, me traveling while making laptop money, is that, like, from 0 to 10, how much of a priority is this right now for you? Like, or how much of a problem is this for you right now that you're not able to do this? And for most of you, it's like an 8, a 9. So there's some situation going on that you want to get out of. You want to be more independent. You want to have more time for the things that you like. Or your health, go to the gym, work out, eat well, all of that stuff, travel more. But then, so many are taking like, let's say it's a level 8 problem of you being stuck in your job and not having the freedom, right? And the time window is closing. The time window is closing, right? Are you taking a level 8 effort to fix this, or are you pretending to play and you're just kind of doing a level 2 effort to actually fix this?
Yeah.
Right? So how aggressively are you with that? Now imagine someone who put a pistol to your head and say, if you're not going to land your first offer in the next 1 week, or next 1 or 2 weeks, I'm gonna pull the trigger on a loved one that you have. You would be operating way quicker than right now.
Hmm.
Massive imperfect
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of it just comes down yeah, it's a numbers game. you a lot of freelancers realize when they're getting started, oh, I just need to do a lot more volume of this. I mean, this is a freelancer problem. It's a business problem. Even in the digital marketing agency world, we're trying to get clients all the time. It's like, oh, well, how many cold emails are you sending out? Oh, we're sending out about 100 a day. Okay,
Mhm.
you need to send 1,500 a day. That's how you get clients.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It's funny that you're saying that. I've seen that so often. Someone starting with closing, right? They want to become a closer. They want to, start into remote sales, and then they struggle getting on the first offer. Right? They struggle getting on the first offer for whatever reason, and then they kind of throwing in the towel, and they say this doesn't work. Like, it's saturated. It's saturated. And then what usually happens is they start their own one person coaching
Mm,
entrepreneurial project. And then the story repeats itself. And then they're struggling
yeah.
getting their first client. And they're like, I don't understand why. Well, guess what, my friend? It's the same, like if like you getting your first client as a closer, it is you getting your first client as a closer. If you not say, okay, I'm going to teach jiu-jitsu online because you have a background in jiu-jitsu, and you start creating content of that, and then you're like, but no one is caring about it. Well, guess what? You don't have a marketing skill. You maybe have a woo-woo closing skill. Like, what are you expecting? Do you expect people just throwing themselves onto you and on your offer and want to book in calls with you? No, like, right? It's a lot easier to land your first closing client as a freelancer than if you would start your own business, in my opinion. And then you don't have to care about delivery, right? You don't have to care about marketing. They're doing all of that for you, right? But that's something that I just see a lot. So they're starting their coaching business out of like the necessity because they now need to make money and they have struggled to find their first offer. But it's not going to go away. You will struggle then finding your first client. And guess what? Once you get your first client, that their thinking is oftentimes like this. Okay, if I close on a, let's say, 7K offer, I make 10% commission, I make $700. If I come up with my own offer and let's say I'm pricing it at 4K, I collect the entire 4K. That's like a lot more. It's more than 4 times as what I make in commission. But then you have to deal with delivery while you're then finding the next client. So I see it as a stepping stone, right? If you get in a game with sales, which was my case, I think for you as well, really door-to-door sales, that's your background as well, right? So if you get in a game there, and all the big guys, think about it, like Tai Lopez. I met Tai Lopez last summer in the south of France, and I did a quick video with him. Just recently, he said, okay, if I would have to start over again, direct sales, like online sales, right? Grant Cardone started in sales. Ed Milet started in sales, right? There was an interview with Iman Gatsi, and he said, hey, if I would start over, I would start in sales. Right? There's no alternative.
Yeah. Sales is communication skill, and all of life is one communication. Business is just dealing with people, talking to people. And so that's why they say it. That's why all the business owners say it. Business is just, it's just communication, talking with people, teams, learning how to coordinate, deal with people, learning not only the communication skills, but the intercommunication skills. Interpersonal skills. It's just social skills. So when I think of sales and, the core reason of, why Tai Lopez and all the business guys, entrepreneurs say that, is it's the logical progression of entrepreneurship, because to be a high level leader type person, businessman type person, you're going to need to be slick with the communication, have the charisma, have the riz of dealing with people. It's the skill of communicating with people and dealing with people. And there's so many things in communication that is not even words. That's like, I don't even have any stuff about like any videos on this, but there's tons of sales courses out there, but that I'm sure do. But the nonverbal stuff, it's endless. But this is why, if you have a job as a young person and your job is speaking to people, guess what? It's like the sport. It's like a sport. Your day-to-day, what you're practicing is speaking to people, and you're going to get that that skill built up. And when you become good speaking with people, good things just happen in life. That's you're going to get the next job.
Yeah. No, and not just there. Just to add to that as well, it will affect all areas of your life. All areas of your life, like literally.
Chicks,
and you're communicating all the time.
Yeah.
Most likely. with your
Help.
family, with your friends, um, with your partner, wife, husband, if you're dating.
Oh, in the dating game for sure. Yeah, that's another reason that I should make a whole video on this. I should just talk about. I should do a video with Jesse about this, because he teaches the dating stuff too.
Yeah,
And because it goes hand in hand. Because what are we doing? We're talking with girls and we're interacting and we're having confidence and we're asking the right questions. And hey, how do I act? Like cold approaching girls is like kind of like cold calling, but it's very
yeah.
similar in terms of it's just all the art of communication, all the art of communication. And so yeah, if you're better at speaking and you know how to come into conversations with curiosity based mindsets, questions based mindsets, have it be about them, ask questions about them and not about you, right? This is just it's just basic psychology stuff, really.
hmm Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you're watching this right now and you're like, well, I'm like more shy or introverted, closing is something more for extroverted people. I mean, don't get fooled, like if you're more introverted, you have a huge advantage over a more extroverted person because you usually are a better listener, right? It's a skill as well that you can develop. But if you're more on the introverted side, you also have a slight edge. So don't think that just because you're not as outgoing, right, doesn't mean you cannot really make it work as a
Mm-hmm.
closer, right? Or you say sales is not for me, closing is not for me because I'm not as outgoing, I'm not as extroverted, I have difficulties putting myself, or communicating with people. All right, I mean, again, we just agreed here all that it's a very fundamental skill. There's actually no way around it. Even if you will start your own business at some point, if you don't know how to close your own deals, how do you expect giving feedback to your team if you have a sales team or a closing team about what they're doing? Like if you don't understand how to close these deals, you're flying blind. You don't know if they're doing a good job or not doing a good job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult for you to coach them, to give them feedback. So you have to learn that anyways, and then it will ripple off, affecting your relationships, right? With your family, with your parents. Man, when I got into the game of closing, my relationship was not really the best, for example, with my mom, right? There was a lot of conflict going on because I had difficulties reading her. Like, who is that? Like, so now I know, I know exactly how to communicate with her. Who do I have in front? And yeah, my mom is just more like soft spoken. So if I come in very hot and like very direct, it's not going to work out very well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's this type of skill that really helps you with so
Yeah,
many different things.
reading people and yeah, it's interpersonal skills. I think
Yeah,
that's
soft
I
skills,
think that's a
interpersonal
word. Yeah,
skills.
soft skill. Yeah, something like that. Social skills.
hmm
And yeah, back to what you said about introverted. So I have a thing to say about that. It's it's very true that you don't need to be. Don't take it wrong, bros. If you're, by the way, if you listen this far in the podcast, give it a like if you liked it. Um, you you don't need to be all like, hey, how you doing? You don't need to be like, this is not a used car salesman um, type of thing to be a remote closer. You don't need to be outgoing or super energetic person. You don't. If you're kind of like the nerdy type, that's actually great. That can work great. If you're a shy um, girl or guy and you're kind of just like, okay, cool. And so on to the next question here. As long as you know how to ask the right questions and listen, you're good. You don't need to be all happy. This is not a. It's not doesn't need to be an emotional um, type cheerleader sale. That's actually not what you're doing. That's actually doesn't
True.
work. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's more of feeling out conversations, learning the skill of just surfing with conversations. Okay, cool. And then on to the next questions. Like with some closing calls, it's literally you can have, I don't like scripts, but just a list of potential questions that you can ask. And if you're just asking them, you literally just go down the list and ask them. And obviously you can't be a robot and just be like, and ask the right follow-up question at the right time. But yeah, my point is, even if you're shy, if you just know how to ask some questions and have a decent conversation, then yeah, you can get
Yeah.
people to sign up. That's not that rocket science.
Even with the business owner, here's the thing. If you're on a call with a business owner for a potential position, also, like the majority of people, if you're coming from a traditional job, if you're coming from a 9 to 5, and then you get into, you learn closing from someone like Riley, someone like me, or on the internet or whatever, like I would definitely suggest you to invest into some type of height. Like if you haven't never invested more than, let's say, $2,000 minimum into yourself as a
Into
closer,
yourself, yeah.
like, come on, man. Like, and again, it doesn't need to be a closing program necessarily, but you want to, like, the reason why I'm saying that is if you expect to learn closing specifically with more of a higher price tag, because the commissions, if you make 10% commission, of course you want to have, you rather sell a $20,000 program than a $2,000 program, right? But anyways, so if you've never been on the other side and you never invested high ticket into yourself, but you're looking to become a closer in the B2C market, maybe it's helping people on a coaching program to start their Amazon business, or maybe it's a fitness offer, or whatever it might be. If you've never been on the other side, you don't know how it feels to make that decision. So it will be difficult for you to relate to the prospect who is investing high ticket into themselves, because you've never been on that side. So it's kind of, it will hurt your confidence and all of that, because deep down, that you never invested into yourself, and now you're offering that. So you could get away with it, but usually it doesn't help your confidence, and your confidence, is important in the call. Like, what relationship do you have with yourself? Are you keeping the promises that you're making to yourself as well? Like, it's a big thing. Like, if you tell yourself every morning, okay, today I'm going to be finishing up, I don't know, my influencer list, or I'm going to add 2-3 people to my list, but you never do it. Like, every time you're not doing it, you're breaking the trust with yourself. You're breaking confidence with yourself. Right. So, keep that in
Confidence
mind.
is everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to say confidence is actually like almost everything in life, with sports, dating, success. I think everything, this is a philosophical thing, but I think everything comes down to confidence. And if you believe in yourself that this is possible, and you say, if they can do it, why not me? I think that settled mindset is like really key in life. And it's kind of like the law of attraction type thing, where it's like, if you're a confident person, then your thoughts and your future pacing is going to be like, oh yes, if you're confident and you believe yourself you're going to be successful, then you start talking that way and start thinking that way, and then it becomes a reality. And
Yeah.
it's confidence is everything. But along the lines of, you were saying, yeah, if you haven't actually bought a high ticket program yourself, it would definitely help you if you had, because it's these subtle little perceptions of what you perceive as normal. Like, for some people, 10K is like a lot. For some people, it's not a lot. It's all relative. And so you can also think about, if you've made any just big purchase in your life. Have you bought a car, maybe school? Like, if you paid for school, you paid tens of thousands of dollars. And so, maybe how that feels.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you bought a motorcycle or a car or a big trip or something, or like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
sports.
it is just, if you literally, if, like, I mean, if you cannot afford it, then, okay, you have to start somewhere, but eventually, yeah, you want to experience that. You want to go through that yourself. I mean, you could do it with like, okay, purchase the car, but it's still different if you purchase a car or if you really invest into yourself. Like if you're
Yeah.
buying a toy, right? Or like, I think, right? Because it's like, I think it's the power of if you invest into yourself, like, especially if you want to work with coaches, consultants, experts, that type of stuff, in a health, wealth, relationship, one of these three, if you want to work in
Mm.
that area, I do believe, yeah, you can get away with justifying, okay, I purchased my car, it was like
Yeah,
50K,
it's not the same. Not the same for sure.
but it's not really the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really the same. Like, have you invested heavily into yourself? And if the answer is no, why not? Right. And then also ask yourself,
Mm.
like, have you ever considered that might be the reason why you're in the situation that you are stuck right now, is because you have never invested
Mm.
like highly into yourself? Because what happens is, once you invest it, it's not so much about, if you invest high ticket with Riley or high ticket with me, it's not so much about, um, oh my God, like I invest so much money with Riley. You invest that money with yourself, because that money, what it does, it gives you accountability with yourself, because it hurts. So you will be there and you will be bought in. That means you will make sure that you get even better results, right? And it gives the chance actually to whatever you're investing in, because it's high ticket, they can support you a lot better than if it would just be a $20 book. A $20 book cannot give that to you, right?
Yeah.
Chances that you're finishing the book is also very low, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against book. I love books, man. Super underestimated, tons of value, very cheap. But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
No, what you're talking about right now is part of the magic of the high ticket. Hey, party in here. I just said magic and we got balloons. Um, Part of the magic of the high ticket closing space and the online coaching space and this whole industry of this online education is, and it's part of the whole uh, it's part of the whole philosophy of as a coach, influencer, course creator, whatever the heck, fitness coach, of offering a 5 or 10K package instead of just $100 to $500 course or membership or whatever. It's because of the philosophy that Marcus just talked about. It's because what they say, and because it's true, when your students invest more, they are more bought in mentally, thus get actually better results. So it's actually, it's a like a, it's like a, it's part of the result is actually getting people psychologically bought in, um, with a good size investment rather than just a, okay, let me just try this little course over here or this little book over
Mm-hmm.
here, or just it's getting people to, like you said, make it hurt a little bit,
Yeah.
because that gets them to psychologically. And so here's the tip backing up, uh for the bros listening. Okay, it helps if you've bought in a high ticket course yourself. It's for sure going to help you. It's for sure going to help you because you've been through that yourself. You've been through that experience. And if you want to be a remote closer, you want to make tons of money in remote closing, guess what? You're going to have hundreds of conversations of people that are trying to make that big decision, and you're going to be the one that's like helping them over. And guess what? You're actually going to be able to like talk about it, about your high ticket thing that you invested into, and it's like, yeah, it's really going to make a difference. You're going to be able to tell that story like literally to them. Yeah, for my first thing I bought, yeah, it was an Amazon thing. Yeah, it was 5K. But hey, yeah, whatever. And even if they ask you, hey, have you bought a high ticket thing before? You're you're going to be able to be truthful and say yes.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to understand the philosophy of what I was just saying. and even use that as a selling point, and even use the line that Marcus just said, which I wrote down that line. It's a great one of high ticket closing guys. You're going to ask that question and have them start to think about, oh yeah, maybe because I haven't bought in with something. It's a whole selling point. It's that line right there is going to close you guys lots of deals. Just having that mindset and even asking that question and coming at high ticket sales from this perspective is it's actually doing them a favor by getting them to finally buy into one thing and commit to one thing instead of, you know, all these things going on. So yeah, that's an important thing.
I quickly want to touch before we wrap this up. I think that could be valuable as well, like the basics and also the mentality, like when you're looking for your first offer. What I see sometimes is, you know, if you treat this closing thing, you getting into closing, you learning sales, if you treat this just like some hack to make money or something like that, or quick money, or like, you could approach it that way, but most likely it's going to be fly by overnight. So what do I mean with that? Instead of thinking short term, think about landing your first offer and getting into the game. Think about more long term. Now, I had a call in my community beginning of this week, and I was asking them, I was like, okay, I'm curious here, put in the chat, like, what did you study and for how long did you study for? Wow. Like, man, it was like 5 years, 6.5, 4, microbiology degree.
Hey, that's me.
And I was like, all right, so you studied 5 years for microbiology, let's say, where now it's really, I mean, yeah, you might find a job, but it's not really, you're not going to be making like the big bank, let's say, from that. But you studied like 5 years for that. You took 5 years out of your life to sit there in class, and listen to everything that they teach you. And now after, let's say, 6 months of you being in the game of closing and being super new and just literally came out of your job, you're like, I think this online thing is not for me. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like, it's or saying what you said before, like people investing hundreds and thousands of dollars in the US, in the UK, in Australia, like all these countries for the traditional education, which is a scam. I think, like, the entire student debt, if you really check that out, like, it's just a big money maker, right? But anyways, different topic, different podcast, right? But if you really like give this 12 months to really tell yourself, okay, 12 months, I really make this a priority. And, I would be shocked if you tell me, okay, 12 months, here's what I did every month, here's what I was working on. And you're not in a position where you at least, replacing or your income minimum what you did before. Like, let's say like 4, 5, 6K a month minimum, right? So give it 12 months. It's less than a study program. You have a lot more possibility to work remotely, travel like Riley does, like I do, like just have a good time, focus on yourself, having more time with your wife, husband, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, if you have. And you can really make yourself a priority because you don't have to drag yourself to, your microbiology job, for example, that you study 5 years for. But now after 6 months, you're, just because you're facing some challenges. If it would be easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
Right. But again, like, what's the alternative? Okay. Then I have people saying, oh yeah, like I could, I made some money with crypto. And I'm like, okay, let's say you make 100K with crypto and whatever goes up. And then what? What are you going to do then? How long is that 100K going to last you? Right? Do you just want to live forever, like on 100K and in a developing country somewhere and like be cheap? Like, I mean, that's not what I want to do. Like, I prefer to, be more aggressive in my approach and and have more freedoms, right? I don't want to restrict myself. So again, if you make a little bit of money with crypto, okay, cool. So then what? You still have no skills. You still have no business skills at all. So the chance that you wanting to invest that money into something without having skills, most likely you're gonna end up where you were before sooner or later, right? So there's no way around it. That's how I look at it, right? So give
Yeah.
it some, like, think more long term. That's probably what I'm trying to communicate here.
Yeah.
They just think a little bit more long term and treat this as your new career. Like,
Yeah.
don't just treat this as like a small thing that you're doing on the side. No, it's a new career that you're working on.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as we talked about in the beginning, sales is the best place to start your career. All of us watching, everyone watching here in the chat, shout out to Gabriel and Ezekiel for the comments. You'll have to watch from the beginning after this is posted, but put your comment, bros, if you could put your chat comment that you just put in the actual video comments, then we can get back to it and actually reply there. All of us want to be rich. Okay. All of us want to be millionaires. Everybody does here. And guess what a great path to be a millionaire. What do you need to be? You need to own things. You need to be a business owner. And what's a great starting career place if you're a young person, you want to make a lot of money? It's learning your communication skills and sales. And door-to-door sales is great. Ezekiel, he said in the comments, he had door-to-door. I used to talk about in my years past videos about my experience with door-to-door, and I always would recommend it. Yeah, do it for a summer. But now I'm like, why would you even need to do that? You can do remote closing. It's like the new door-to-door sales. Anyways, yes, long term, this is think of it as a start to a big career in business. Yeah, for sure. And
Man,
you
I
you
know
got to
closers
start out in sales.
I know closers who were just closing and making a very, very good living now for years. So because doing, like, starting a business is not for everyone, right? You need to like getting kicked in the
Oh
face
yeah,
a lot.
you're not going to start a business for the first, chapter of your career typically. Like, the top, in the regular job world, yeah, you're going to be a SDR for 5 years, 8, 10. Like, you did 4 years of school. Okay, now you need to do 4 years or 8 years at the entry level type thing, and then you
Yeah.
can graduate to the next thing. So yeah, definitely. I'm not saying like, yeah, think you can do closing for a year and then, hey, I'm a businessman now. I'm gonna I'm gonna go, do a startup.
I
Nah,
mean,
you
there's
get like,
always,
yeah,
of
four or
course,
five
there's
years.
always an exception to the rule, right?
Yeah,
But in general, I think closing is a great start, and we all agree on that, because of course your communication skills, right? And if you then decide to start a business later on, you have to communicate with your team, with your employees, right? With your
yeah,
business partners. So it's just that one foundational skill that if you don't learn it in the beginning, you have to go back and learn it anyways if your goal is to start a business at some point,
yeah,
right? So I always think, why not start there, develop that skill? That skill also gives you the financial, peace of mind, financial confidence is how, how you could call it. It's just that, it doesn't matter what happens, you're always able to rely on yourself, on your skill. You could always find a new offer, close a deal, and you're back there, right?
yeah.
So
Skill
yeah,
you take anywhere.
you can take it anywhere, and no overhead, right? It's like,
Oh man, we could go on and on about comparing it to other sorts of
yeah, I think it's. I mean, another good place to start might be copywriting, right? But get a skill. I think closing, copywriting, marketing are definitely is a good place to start for sure.
hand in hand. It's kind of all the same industry. Um, if you're going into closing, I would say, if someone is talking about what should I do, marketing, should I do copywriting, like what about those things? I say, okay, so when you're getting into be in the remote closer, you are in the larger industry of digital marketing industry / online education industry. Okay, you're going to be working with businesses that are selling either services or coaching for the most part. And the leads are going to be coming in through their webinars, which have copywriters which write the titles of it, and the copywriters. So you're going to just get into this industry of digital marketing, and then underneath there you have copywriting as part of it. You have phone sales conversations as part of it. You have you're going to learn webinars. You're going to learn about the whole thing. And in my humble opinion, I've been in this digital marketing industry for 10 years. It's the place to be if you want to get rich. In my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Riley got me started back then with Amazon. I
yep.
invested with Riley, Amazon, like back then. What was that? 2017, 2018, something like that. No,
Yeah,
2017.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we met at Nomad Summit.
Yeah, I think Summit. I think this was Nomad Summit 2018, or 2017. Can't remember exactly, but long time ago.
Was it the one I was speaking at? Maybe not. Maybe
I think
2018 then, because I was a speaker on this on the stage for the 2017 one.
Oh wait, then it might be 20. Was it 2016? Then no. We took a picture on stage, so I think you were speaking.
Okay. Cool. You were the big living that live picture.
Yeah, they were like
man.
Yes, exactly. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Okay. Yeah. Marcus and me are OGs, guys. If you don't know, for the bros that don't know, we go back.
Yeah. I remember I was watching your videos, Chiang Mai, like back then. I was like, damn, like this guy, you got to figure out, like, I need to find a way to, I need to do something, right? And again, I invested, for example, in Amazon FBA. I invested in different programs, trying different things. And guess what? I didn't really, I ended up, quote unquote, with remote closing at the end of the day. But it's still not that I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have taken that Amazon course. No, you learn something. It's a stepping stone. And even if you just understand, hey, maybe Amazon FBA is not for me, or maybe you start remote closing and then understand after a while it's not for you for whatever reason, right? Again, we talked about why there's actually no way around it, okay? But still, for whatever reason, you learn something, and at least you know what you don't want to do. And if you're just completely fresh starting out, you usually don't really know what kind of is the thing for you, or what you don't enjoy. With Amazon, I didn't really enjoy dealing with all of this import export law certificates and all of that stuff. It was just, oh my god, that's too much. Like I don't want that, right? And then I went more into digital, print on demand and all of that. I played around with that a little bit. Why? Because I didn't have to fulfill it. I didn't need to deal with that aspect, but the margins were tiny. I was making $2 a sale or something like that. And then eventually I learned about, skills, high income skills, sales, commission based. Oh, okay, wait. Now instead of making, $2 a sale, I now make like $400, $500 a sale. I was like, wow, okay. So I only need to make, a couple of sales and I'm pretty much good, right? In Thailand, for example, right? Or in Mexico or somewhere abroad, like you're good, with a couple of sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say, if you're watching this right now and you're living in a country like the US, Canada, Australia, something like that, and you are like a bachelor, quote unquote, or you don't have any commitments, like you're not a tree, move, right? If you have a certain amount of savings, okay, good. How much longer would that savings take you in Asia or in Latin America, or in a country that, where the living cost is lower? Or with half of what you're spending right now, you get like twice the lifestyle. Think about that, right? And then, exit your job if you don't have any commitments. And then you make a commitment to actually make that work. Buy a one-way ticket. Like I'm telling you, you're going to be on fire because you have to make it work. There's no way back.
Yeah. What's a round trip ticket? I haven't bought one of those in.
No, a one-way ticket.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm saying, what's a round trip? Like, what even is that? I don't know what that is. Of course, we only buy one-way tickets. You know,
Yes.
and that's it's like so normal to me and you, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's not normal. Like for a lot of people,
yeah,
it's not like not normal, right? They're like, oh, but if
yeah.
I buy a ticket, like I got by the way back, right?
Well, yeah, but yeah. I bought that one way ticket when I came out to the first conference in Thailand, and I was yeah. It's I always look back to that, and I'm like, you know what? And people ask me this all the time. Should I save up before quitting my job? How much do I need to save? That obviously that depends on many life factors. But if you're young, no commitments, no nothing, and you're totally
Yeah,
mobile, no lease, car, dog, wife, kids, whatever, and you can just, for me, making that commitment and jumping in with both feet, um, you know, it worked out. For some people, that really puts the fuel to the fire,
yeah.
instead of one foot in, one foot out. But it depends on your job situation and your financial and life situation. So that's a long answer, but
I
it
mean,
can work.
there are two categories from what I observed. So you have like the bachelor type of person, no commitments, sometimes living with the parents, studying, and they are at university because of their parents sometimes, right? There, if you have no commitments and you're old enough to, over 18, or maybe in the US it might be 21 or something like that. If you can do whatever you want, if you're not a 16-year-old kid, let's put it that way, right? It will be very easy for you to just book a trip one way, live off the cheap, right? Or another strategy that you could do if you have your parents there, that that I usually suggest, instead of you just quitting your university because your parents, they pay for you and that you live with them and all of that. I mean, okay, officially you can study for university, but like go hard on learning closing in the meantime while you don't have any bills to pay or anything like that, right? But yeah, if you don't have any commitments that are like necessary, like a partner who's stuck in another job or something like that, then move. Yeah, if you have other people depending on you, yeah, then it's a little bit more trickier. But also understand that, especially in the beginning period until you get on your first offer, it will just feel more like an uphill battle, right? So you might get into the space because you want to have more freedom, you want to have more money, you want to have more time. But it's exactly, that's a little bit of a paradox. That's exactly what you have to give up in the first couple of months. It's a season. It's not forever. It's a season. Understand that you have to
Mm.
give that up for you to break through and come out on the other side where you actually can take advantage. Like if you're a good closer, you can say, okay, I would prefer to have Mondays no calls. I
Mm.
would prefer to have Wednesday no calls. If you're just new and you say that to someone, if you talk with Riley and me and you say, hey, can I have like Tuesdays and Wednesdays off, like always? I'm like, I'm like, I will be shocked because I want someone who's hungry
Yeah.
right now. And then once you earn your right, and I see, okay, you're converting like 50% closing rate, we're flying, we're making, we're closing, we're making sales. I want to keep you happy. I want to keep you. So if you come to me with your communication skill, that obviously is very high because you're closing 50%, you can close me on, Marcus, Monday, Tuesday, I would like to, not take any calls or whatever, or maybe I will tell you, okay, we can do Monday, Tuesday is difficult, but every other day might be okay, or half days. You could negotiate that, right? Then you can build, closing around your lifestyle and what you like to do. If you want to go on a trip on a weekend, then you have a Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. If you go to a remote island where there's no internet, right? So
Yeah. You
it's a
earn
it's a bit of a
negotiating
paradox.
power over time.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Negotiating power over time. So you will get to that. It's like the example that I gave uh, last week in a call of some of my students. It's like, you know, 1.5 months ago, we were in Acapulco here at the beach, and we were releasing like baby turtles.
Oh,
Very,
nice.
very cool thing to do. And bro, like my turtle was just like not moving. It was just laying there. Like I was like, no, it's dead or something like that, right? And the others were running. And then the waves come and the waves hit the turtles like crazy. Like they flip around and all of that. It's brutal, right? But then once they get behind, like once they get hit like 3, 4, 5, 6 times, they're like in the water, and then they
Mhm.
just disappear, and they're not come back to the beach, right? So they're swimming, and it's a little bit the same if you get into the world. If you
Mm.
start on your on your own, or if you invest into a program, it's like you're the baby turtle that we will place at the beach, and you start running towards your freedom, the ocean. But before you reach that ocean, my man or my girl, you're gonna get hit in the face a couple of times from these waves, and you feel like giving up, and you feel like it's dark, and it's a dark place. It's the dip. That's how we call it, right? If you manage to mentally and physically, if you're working a full-time job and do closing and want to get in a game, like it's not easy, right? But if you push through that, the world's going to open up for you, right? And unfortunately, most people, they quit before that point, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to steal that turtle analogy.
Yeah,
You're going to get knocked around at first, tossed around. And, you know, this is the story with anything in life. We could apply it to closing, sports, really any career, really anything in life, really. There's growing pains at first, and either you're the type of person that pushes through it, or
yeah,
you get smacked around and you just keep bouncing around to different things. So it's kind of story of life there.
yeah, yeah. As long as you pick the, the right thing, you know. The worst thing that you can do if you want to get out of your job and then you go very ambitiously into the wrong direction,
Mm.
like, because it's a choice. Same with if you start a business. Like, the first choice you as a business owner have to make is what market you're going to get into, and that's a choice. You can choose to get into the newspaper market, right? Or you could choose to go
Yeah.
into e-learning. Which one is like, how those markets, like, it's a big difference. Yeah, because running the business is probably the same difficulty on both ends. Like, business principles, business 101 is going to be the same, but it's a choice. You as a business owner, what business do you gonna get involved with? Or same with you, it's a choice. Do you choose to become a trader, or do you choose to become a closer, right? And then which of these two skills might benefit you and your life more in the future, long term? If you know how to trade, okay, you might gonna get good with timings and all of that, but does it really help the conversations that you have every single day for the rest of your life? Don't you think it's worth putting some effort into this skill of communicating, right? So it's the same thing.
Yeah. Have a job, especially if you're entry level, where you're communicating with people, because um, even if you pivot, then you're going to need those skills as well. Even if you start a business in the future, you're going to need those skills as well. Even if anywhere else in your career you're managing teams, and even in the corporate world, if you want to level up, what do you get? You get more people management below you. And what skills do you need for that? You need people management skills, and that
Yeah,
comes down to just communication. But yeah, that's because it's like you're also kind of getting into the e-learning space as well, which is an amazingly fast-growing thing. E-learning slash digital marketing, those are kind of separate things, but digital marketing and e-learning is inside of the house of digital marketing. That really, you're going to be in the digital marketing industry. You're going to understand ads and funnels and webinars and copywriter and social media. This economy that we're in, it's a social media economy. Let's just
yeah,
we're there, and we've been there for years. Every single business, every single person who is doing something needs to get attention on social media, unless you're like industrial, like an oil company, or like you're doing like and boring stuff. But most companies who are customer facing, the whole economy is social media based. Okay, TV is going down.
yeah,
It's social media. This is the economy. This is every single business is thinking about, crap, how do I get my YouTube up followers? How do I get attention? It's the attention based economy. This is the world of digital marketing, which is just marketing, which is on digital, which means on screens, okay,
yeah,
which means on social media, which means ads and organic posts. And so This is the game that you can
And
take not only the
it's
communication
that's
skill but the
that's the
marketing.
cool thing, right? Like, because
Yeah,
everything is moving like to social media, and
yeah,
we're moving away from like the industrial revolution and people working in like factories and stuff like that, or offices. Like, we're moving away more to like a gig economy. So you're gonna
yeah,
get paid to get a job done, like as a freelancer, for example, right? And if you go into closing, yeah, you cover the basics of sales and how that works, but then you can combine that talking about like what niche to go into, because that's another question I get a lot. Okay, so what are you selling as a remote closer, right? The world is your oyster, right? As long as they're doing some type of an online marketing, that it's some type of an online business, it's great, and there's like fitness, weight loss, muscle gain, confident coaching for moms, coaching for dads, how to become a better dad. I have a friend who has a coaching business where he's just working with dads, like, and show dads how to lead in their house, in their family, right? And it's a high ticket offer, and it's converting well, right? So there's so much, endless. Okay.
mm,
Kids, like how to raise your kids, nutrition of kids, making sure they're not going to get overweight or something like that. Parenting, coaching, legal stuff, legal advice. Um, with lawyers, you can work together with lawyers, specifically like business lawyers. Dating coaching, pickup, relationship coaching, e-commerce offers. I mean, there's so many, how to build your Amazon store, drop shipping, Etsy, how to do white labeling, how to get good at TikTok. Like, there like, this could go on and on and on, right?
yeah,
Masterminds, you know AI is now also big. Like, AI offers AI chatbots, or companies that offer AI chatbots for businesses,
yeah.
right, or for
Those are
entrepreneurs.
yeah, a lot of those going on right now.
There's a lot. So you just say, okay, what are you curious about, and then you just focus on that aspect of the market. All right. So if you're
Yeah,
into fitness, cool. You might want to go into, weight loss, muscle gain, something like that. If you're into dating, you can go into pickup coaching or relationship coaching, or whatever floats your boat, right? Whatever you're interested in, whatever where your curiosity is taking you. If you're interested in digital marketing, right? Agencies, done for you agencies, there are a lot of those now, and especially done for you. Done for you is very easy to close, but it's
mm,
very hard to deliver for the company. But for you, I mean, if you find it done for you offer that can deliver results, it's very, very easy to close. Yeah, it's done for you, not the done with you. It's like the done for you in the notes.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so they don't have to, like, basically you don't have to do anything. Everything is done for you. It's
yeah,
very easy to close, but difficult to fulfill from the business side. So you want to make sure you have good testimonials, got good reviews with the company.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can tell you all about that. Yeah, in terms of a B2C thing where it's like, yeah, we're gonna set up this Amazon automation store. You don't gotta do anything. Okay, just sign up. All right, we'll do it for you. It doesn't require effort on your end,
Yep.
which is why it's an easier sell. They don't have to do anything. It's just like, yeah, just pay and we'll do this thing for you. Yeah, there's things out there, but yeah, to wrap up that point, what you were saying is we are in also an e-learning economy where university, kind of whole system is phasing out, and the learning specific things online is really phasing in, and all these industries are really one and the same: social media economy, gig economy, digital marketing, e-learning, and sales. It's kind of all in this industry that we're talking about.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere soon. If anything, it's going to keep growing like crazy. I think if you check e-learning, what they predicted to be that market, like how big the market is I think it's over 300 billion, something like that. So it's a very big market. There's a lot of money going through that market. So it means you're getting tailwind with what you're doing. You're making things easier
Mm-hmm.
for you, right? Also, as time goes by, the market is growing, right? But yeah,
Okay, I was gonna go and start chat GPTing some stuff, but that's a whole nother wormhole. We've already gone at almost an hour and a half. So yeah,
Yeah,
good
I mean,
stuff.
we can
What
have
else?
some wrap up words. The last, like, what is
Yeah,
it? 5 minutes now. Or
yeah,
not sure if there were some questions in the comments here or something we could quickly talk about before we wrap it up.
yeah, sure. How does one know they are ready to apply for offers? I have a lot of success in the DBD space, door to door, but remote sales is slightly different. How would you suggest beginners gain competency with the structure? How does one know they are ready to apply for offers? Oh, you're asking like, how do I know if I'm ready to be a remote closer? Yeah, what would you say, Marcus?
It's a good question. How did you know you're ready for door to door? You probably weren't, I guess. So it's the same. Like, for example, you watching this and investing time into this, awesome. Like that's how you want to get familiar. Study different people as well. Like, see what kind of works for you. What can you resonate with? And yeah, then just get in the game. The good thing is, if you have door to door experience, you're probably not the shy type of guy, or you already went past that, so you don't have a problem with rejection, I assume, and that's a great start, right? So you probably have already more than most other people out there. So
Yeah, I would say if you're doing door to door, bro, why would you think you're not ready to be a remote closer? Come on, get in the game. Obviously, it's not the exact same, but come on, it's sales and talking to people. Door to door is not easy. I would say if you're doing door to door, I've said this in you're a perfect candidate for remote closing. Let's go. Get on the horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's probably more action and less thinking, just summarizing that in a few words.
Mhm. Yep, yep, yep. Bu- 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 bu. Gabriel says, thanks for the talk. Did we question did we talk about questions for the interviewer? At the beginning, we did talk about good questions to ask. Um,
Yep,
yeah. And also the long-term mindset, big paradigm shift. Awesome. Yeah,
that's great.
for sure.
Good.
Cool. What else?
What else? Yeah.
Also Victor. Hey, we got a student. What's sign up?
That's awesome.
Interested in your interest at the last minute. See, long-term mindset. Keep going, and then you're gonna get the sale. No, I'm just kidding. And this wasn't even like a webinar. Like maybe we'll do those in the future where this was just a random. Hey, let's just go live. Sent you a message to Instagram. Sweet man. Talk to you soon, Victor. More action, less thinking. Says
Great.
Zeke.
Yeah, I see you at the top, man.
Yeah.
You're at the top. It's good.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, this has been good. Leave questions in the comments, bros. And if anyone watched to the end of this, leave a comment. Um, what are you up to next, Marcus?
Mm, yeah, so right now I'm just very dialed in, with my business, the team, that type of stuff. You know, um, I love it. I love it. It's good. It always forces you to become better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Running a business, running a team, yeah, definitely um, builds so many different skills at
Yeah.
once. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
But that's pretty much it. So right now, what's next? Probably gonna be traveling to Europe in the summer. So a couple of months, and then spending some in Europe. That's at least what I've planned, and then we see, But always
Nice.
traveling slow. Always traveling slow.
Slow travel life, man. It's the best. 2 months is way better than 2 weeks. But hey,
Yes.
you got to get location independence first. And we talked a little bit about that. But yeah, of course, you can do. It's very possible to do remote closing location independently. Um, because that's another main thing that we all want, is to have that location freedom, be able to travel, as you please, when you feel like it, when you like. It's
Yeah.
definitely a perk. Hey, you can stay home too. Work from home's cool too. Hey, or you can go to Mexico, or you can go to Bangkok, where I am.
The world is your oyster, my friend.
That's it. It is, bros. It is. All right, cool. See you guys in the comments. And if you guys don't follow Markus, he's on Instagram. What's your Instagram? Or where should people follow you if they don't know you?
Yes, you could just go to markusdunk.com. That's probably the easiest, and everything is linked there. We also have free training and stuff like that. You can do a little bit more digging around there. markusdunk.com, and yeah, that's all you need.
Killing it.